Good. All right. Obviously, a couple days away from a really big game. I'm so excited about the Friday night game in Arizona Stadium. All season our students have been incredible. The Zona Zoo has been just fantastic. And I'm excited to see what a Friday night football game looks like here in Tucson. And it's cool. This time of year, high school playoffs are starting. Obviously, that's so cool. I want to wish all those guys luck that are getting ready to play. What a cool time in your life. Friday night lights, playoffs, just getting ready for all the good stuff. All the stuff that we all remember, just like how magical that time is as a young man. But for our football team, we're playing a good team in Houston. We know that. They're well coached. They've won 3 of their last 4. They're hot right now. Their quarterback's playing extremely well. Their defense is on fire. So we got our hands full. And I'm excited to see us play. We've had a great week of practice. I love the energy and the enthusiasm guys are bringing to the workplace. And I'm excited to see us play. So what do you got?
Start with Justin. So the players this week, they talked about how your message to them has been keep swinging. Can you elaborate on that message?
Well, I think right now, when you've lost 5 games in a row, like you have to make a conscious choice of, are you going to stay in the fight? And I think that part of it is so important. And for them to understand that the only way to get to where we want to go, whether that's this week, next week, the following week, or even next year, is by using every opportunity to improve. Like, are we going to attack improvement or are we not? And I think that part of it is so important, and, especially when you're frustrated and you're disappointed, right? And I think it's a fantastic life lesson for them, right? You're facing adversity. What are you going to do? Are you going to keep swinging? Are you going to keep fighting? Are you keep finding ways to move forward, right? Or are you going to take your ball and go home? And so far, they've been fantastic. We have an awesome week of practice.
The physicality, toughness, line of scrimmage, et cetera, probably weren't what you wanted against UCF.
Yes.
What have you seen in that regard? What have you tried to emphasize to the guys to improve that aspect?
Well, I think some of that, we had a lot of kind of good on good last week and even this week. That some of that's been dictated by our numbers that are available, but making sure that we're blocking, the best people that we can block, or we're going against the best people we can go against in the offensive and defensive front, trying to elevate the physicality of that work and continuing to get our guys trained, because there's so much muscle memory in blocking and offensive line and defensive line play. And it's different when you're blocking a true freshman on the scout team versus Tai, right? Like that part of it, trying to really elevate that in our practice environment. It's been good.
Just that you used that term good on good twice this week. Does that mean that you're happy with both sides of the ball the way that they're practicing? What does that mean?
Absolutely. And I think that speaks a lot to the character of this team and to the coaching staff. Like they're coaching the heck out of this team. And we're always in that developmental process. We're always evaluating every piece of it, every player, every scheme. But everyone's been working so hard trying to fix where we're at. And that's the way we're going about it. We're attacking the situation with everything we've got. And having those guys, play with the physicality and the intention and the effort gives us a chance to play the kind of football we want to play.
In the last 7 games, this team has struggled mightily offensively in that first possession after halftime. They get 6 punts and 1 interception, 2 first downs. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think that's one of those things that, like, in that moment, we have to seize that opportunity, because in a couple of those games, we had done something good right before half, and we could have then kind of, taken advantage of that middle 8 there, and we didn't do that. And so that's been a big point of emphasis for us, and we've worked on a bunch of clock situations. Some of those things, it's been an experience. It's been a one miss block or a drop pass or a penalty that has stalled those drives, and trying to eliminate those little mistakes that cost you the opportunity to move the football effectively in the first series of the second half.
Tyler Loop's opportunities have kind of dwindled lately. There haven't been any field goal attempts. He's also missed 2 extra points. Did you identify anything with those 2 that was a commonality that needs to change?
I think I think that was just we had a little bit of trouble with the snap, and I think we've got that cleaned up. He was awesome this week.
Do you ever go into a game with the mindset like, okay, if we score this amount of points, that should be enough, or is it just a matter of we need to score as much as possible?
That's a good question. I think there's a balance there, depending on who you're playing. But let's be honest, like, we have not been killing it offensively and scoring points, and so we have to find a way to put points on the board every opportunity we get, however that comes. And so I don't put a number out there, say, hey, we got to score 30 points or whatever like that. You know, like I'm so focused on the small stuff, the like breaking it down and not kind of the end result, right? Like how efficient are we on first down? You know, what kind of decisions or what kind of effectiveness are we having on third down? What does our red zone situational football look like?
And then when you look at Houston, there were some real struggles for them earlier in the year. Like you mentioned, they're playing well. Is there a difference you see when watching the film?
I think it's the quarterback. I think it's the quarterback run game, and that's really been effective for them. And they've been playing well on defense. You know, that's been consistent. But I think when you're they're playing good team football, right? Like when you can run the ball effectively and play good defense, right? You can shorten the game, limit the possessions of the opponent, stuff like that.
Justin? So during the musical chairs you mentioned on the offensive line, how important has it been to have someone like Josh Baker there in the middle?
Josh Baker is a total warrior, man. I love that kid. What an awesome leader he is for our team. Just a consistent. The guy practices every day and practices hard. It's so important to him. He's a great voice in the offensive line room, trying to settle down those young guys that have been playing next to him all season. He's really an awesome human being and a really, really good football player.
Michael, you mentioned the quarterback. Early in the season, you faced some mobile quarterbacks. That was a problem area for your defense. Really haven't faced guys like that much, but the UCF quarterback did get out a couple times.
Yep.
What are the keys in your view to limiting the damage that Zion Chris can do on the ground?
I think the biggest thing is just tackling, and that's something that we came out of the UCF game really disappointed in, was that we just did not tackle well. So obviously that was a point of emphasis in last week. Now that stuff you can't do at full speed in practice, and certainly not with where our numbers are at right now. But we can still work on the technique and attacking space and that type of stuff, and closing the air. And the biggest thing that I think can help limit some of that is just by everybody playing with incredible effort, so that we have population at the football. So if we do miss a tackle, there's someone there to clean it up.
David? Obviously, we had Chase Kennedy in here earlier this week. What do you like about, I guess, that new role that he has here, where he's kind of roving around the defense?
Well, I think Chase is a great combination of speed and length, and so I think he gives you kind of when he's on the second level, right? He gives you some length and some stuff in some passing lanes, and then also some great range to go get the football. But you also like him as a pass rusher, so he's kind of a great combination if we're going to use him in a blitz package or any kind of stuff like that, where you change his position on the field or his position in the formation. And then we think that he can provide a matchup for us that can be effective.
Was there a feeling, I guess, that you needed maybe a bigger guy in that middle phase there than a DB type?
No, I think it had to do with the injury to Jacob Manu.
Brian? Considering that you're in a position where you need to win the remainder of the games to get a 13th game, will you be more willing to take risks early to try to build something rather than play it safe? If you have a 4th and 5 at the 45, plus 45 rather than punting?
I would say going into the game, I don't have that thought process for that. It would be more about how it feels, right? Like, just are we moving the football on offense? Do I feel good about our ability to get 4th and 5? You know what I mean? Or do I need to play, field position football and say, okay, Michael can pin this down inside the 10 and our defense is playing well, let's make them go 90. So it just depends on stuff like that.
And regarding Michael, you had a little bit of a rotation there at the punter early in the season, but since Michael has come back, how do you feel he's performed?
It was really, he's been our guy. He got hurt, and so he was out for, a little bit of time there. And so, but we're really excited about him. He's good. That kid is going to be a great player. So we're really excited about his future here.
David?
Have there been any discussions or thoughts about just going ahead and playing Jacory at this point?
No, that doesn't make sense to me. With the NCAA, not one time.
Justin, so what is the message to the team at this point right now as you guys get ready for this stretch?
Really, it's about just we're in a 1-week season, right? And so how intentional can we be about all the things we needed to give us a chance to play good football Friday night? I think, we've talked a lot about blocking out the outside noise, because I know it's loud, and it's loud for them. And, they're not 50 years old like me, like they haven't been through this kind of thing before. And so for them, helping them navigate that part of it and really just focus on each other, how much they love the game of football, and doing the work that's required at a high level so that you can have a chance to win is really just been our focus. Like just really trying to pull that in and lean into each other and not worry about stuff you can't control.
And then Willie Fritz, do you have any connections to him?
I don't. I've just met him a couple times, but I'm well aware of how good of a football coach he is. He's won everywhere he's been.
Last question to Michael.
I'll just do two since I'm the
Oh,
last.
I'm going triple. I got 9 questions.
You had said earlier in the week there'd be some changes in the kicking game. Are you talking about guys on special teams coverage, or are you talking about snapper, holder, or punter?
No, the snapper, like that process has been good. You know, no, it just like a couple of those guys that have come back to being healthy again. You know, like I think I mentioned Jabari and Craddock, like some of those guys that we haven't had available. That's what I'm talking about.
If you look at Noah's numbers the last 2 games, they're better. No picks, 4 touchdowns, his completion percentage is up. He's been a little better against pressure. Why do you think that is, first of all? And then how can you kind of translate that into scoring more points? Because that's the part that really hasn't changed.
No, you're exactly right. I think Noah Fafita is such a great leader, and the kid's just such a warrior, right? He stands in there and battles every snap of every game. And I think some of that is we're in the first year of a new offense for him, right? So there's going to be some growing pains there, and you're trying to eliminate that, or you're trying to accelerate that and give him a chance to be efficient when he plays. And then as he grows and as he gets more comfortable in the scheme, I think he's having a little bit more comfort in knowing where to go with the ball and trying to make sure that we get the ball out on time. And then when he does, get off schedule, that's also where some of his magic comes. And so making sure that when he has those opportunities to make those good plays, is he's being smart with the football. And I think he's starting to do that.
All right, that's our time.
Thank you all.
Thank you.